Okay, people, we are now recording. We are active now. Alright, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about history. I'm going to talk a little bit about current situations. And I'm going to tell the people who are running up and down and yelling about communism to open up your eyes and look. There's places that socialism, communism, where the government gathers up the money from everybody and redistributes it equally or equitably among everybody in this world. And these people who are yelling the praises of communism ought to see what it does to the human being, what it does to our nature, our drive, and how it affects each and every individual when everything is provided by the government. Now, you'd say, well, I can't travel around the world or something like that. Well, let's talk a little bit about history. Socialism was first practiced in the North American continent, in what is now known as the United States, that area, by two main groups. At the very beginning, it was called Plymouth Rock and Jamestown. When they first got over here, they couldn't figure out a way to pay the soldiers and the other people who did things that needed to be done in their colony or their little commune or whatever you want to call it. So they decided to go on to a form of a socialist government, almost identical to the writings of Karl Marx. Well, luckily for both Jamestown and Plymouth, there was another very well structured society that had its base on honorable, saving face, very productive individuals. And that is called the American Indians. Because both Plymouth Rock and Jamestown almost completely destroyed itself with the socialist welfare system, the communist system. And if it wasn't for the American Indians, probably both colonies would have been a total failure, everyone starving to death. Next, I'm going to talk to you now, you got out through with history. Current. You people first need to read the writings of socialism and communism in great detail. And then you need to go look at where it is actually practiced. Does that mean you have to go to Cuba or North Korea? No. Actually, you don't even have to leave the United States. Pure 100% redistributing of the wealth equally and equitably among the people is actually practiced here in the United States. And how it affects people in their private life, in their individual life, and in their ability to produce is a very, very good example. Look at it. Now you all sit there and say, okay, where is this ideal communism, socialism practice? Where is it done? In the United States. We're a capitalist society. We are. But we do openly and totally accept the practice of communism or socialism in this country. And we, the people, don't like what it does to the average American, the average person, the average human being. But we don't call it communism. We don't call it socialism. We call it welfare. That's right, people out there who is pushing a communist society. We have one. It's called welfare. People who are on welfare, they like to call it government assistance now, is actually living proof of what communism or socialism does. What's the problems we have there? The people don't want to work. They don't want to produce. They don't even want to go to school any longer. The education for them is provided by the state. Everything is provided for them. They're not even forced to go out and have to work. And what are the problems? Their homes are provided for them. Their food is provided for them. Their entertainment is provided for them. It's not the bare necessities they get. They get an extremely well compensated living expense. And what do they do with it? They give it away, they sell it away, they destroy it. It has no value to them. Nothing has value. That's the first problem with socialism and welfare and communism. Nothing at all has value. It destroys the drive that differs us from the regular animals of the jungle, of the woods, because we have no need. All our needs are met by the government. It has no wants, because all the wants that they want are met by the government. That's socialism and communism in the purest sense. That's if you want to read the writings. Our welfare system is socialism. Our welfare system is communism. Adding the public schools to it, we have just completed the whole cycle of socialism and communism. And what is the problems that we have? Children are totally neglected. Children are abused. Women are abused. Men are lost. They have this inner force that they have no idea what it is or where to focus it. Women are frustrated. All of the system are totally demoralized. They lose the drive to escape from it. These are a few of the things that happen when you have a full socialist or communist society. Those people who try to push communism or socialism should spend a little time studying it here in the United States, where it is actually practiced to the fullest extent of the writings, and see how the people advantageously use what's presented to them, or how they take advantage and abuse the system. That's your choice out there. You sit there and you constantly push something that exists, and yet you will complain about the very thing you want. Because you don't like what it does. You can't change it. That's the way it is. You have to understand, people, we are human beings, and we react certain ways to certain predictions, environments, or whatever you want to call it. The ones who escape from the system, the ones who get out of the system, are not the average, normal, everyday. They are the unusual ones. The ones who say something has to be better than this. Something must be better than this. The ones who stay, the ones who sit there, and they call it their money, but it's actually the people's money. Listen, welfare is the people's money that they get. They're living in housing provided by the people. They're educated by the people. Yes, communism or socialism is totally practiced in this country. It's just that we don't call it socialism or communism. We call it welfare, where the government equally divides the wealth of the nation among the people, providing for all their needs, wants, and desires. And look what it does. Look how it affects the human being. It doesn't matter what group you belong to. It doesn't matter whether you're white, Anglo-Saxon. It doesn't matter whether you're black, of African descent. It doesn't matter whether you're Mexican or Spanish descent, or even Oriental or Oriental descent. When pure socialism or communism is acted upon the human being, they respond the same way. That's the flaws of socialism or communism. It's an ideal teaching, but unfortunately, when it was written, they completely took out the human being. The very purpose they eliminated, because it wouldn't work with the human being. And we have proof of that constantly. Go and study it, people who want to push communism, who wants to push socialism. Study why it is wrong. It doesn't work. You might just come up with the answer that our federal government is looking for to get these people to become productive, active citizens of the United States of America. So study welfare. It is communism. Study welfare. It is pure socialism. There's your answer between the two. We have to have, as our republic, an economy that is based on the best of all types of economies. Not one, definitely not one and one alone. But our economy based on capitalism does take things from socialism, does take things from communism, does take things from fascism, does take things from all different types of economies and governments, because we are a republic and because we choose the way we wish to live. We do not allow the government to tell us how to live. That is something communism and socialism, and it is a big problem. So study welfare, see how it works, and then you'll understand the failures of the human being, not the system, that causes it to become non-productive. If you take away from the human being all its needs, the human being will gladly sit there, most of them, and accept it. And that's socialism, that's communism, that's welfare. self-destructive is what welfare is to the human being. You don't have to take my word on anything I'm saying. Just go and look.